Hey everyone, welcome to Cosmic Turtles. My name is Tina, and today we're doing a cosmic collective read for everybody. Took my glasses off because it's getting a little tiresome. And at the end of the night, they seem to be too strong or they affect somehow. So anyway, for my own comfort, not only that, I don't need to really see to be able to hear and feel what comes through. So glasses, no glasses, don't matter. That's just for reading and seeing from a distance. Only when I need it in the daytime. So what do we have in the collective? First card that popped up is, let's see if my lighting here. My lighting's a little too bright. It makes the card not being able to be seen. Okay. There we go. So we have the Seven of Swords. I think it's seven. Yes. Seven of Swords. So there's a little bit of, this is the energy. It's either or, so I'll give the two definitions. This is usually considered the card of deception. So there's some type of deception, whether it's within you or you're seeing it on the outside of you. Little sneaky, they call him, because he's sneaking around and he's getting these five swords, and then he's going to come back because he's looking back, and he's going to come back and get these other two later. But he's doing this in daylight, so that's why there's two definitions. If he was really that sneaky type, he would do it in the middle of the night where nobody can see him. But he's doing it in broad daylight where everybody else is busy doing something else. So, little sneaky, one of the definitions is he's either taking all these swords away so nobody hurts him, or he's taking all these swords away so they can't do anything when it comes to using their swords later. Either way, it makes sense. So there's an aspect of deception that people need to become aware of. And when they become aware of this, sorry about the lighting, folks. Still trying to get this setup going in a good way. Plus I'm sitting higher than usual. Okay. So either way, this little sneaky energy, he's coming in to try to create either peace or chaos. But it's still a sneaky energy, right? There's other ways of finding resolution to what's going on without having to take sneaky measures. So that's the present energies right now. So let's see here. A few cards that flipped. A lot of different energies in the collective at the moment that's in operation. And it's each for their own purpose. So let's see what the prominent energy is at the moment. For those of you especially that'll come and view the channel. Yeah, there's a few that came in and it's like a mini story. First we have the Ten of Wands. So a lot of you have been taking on burdens. Burdens that don't belong to you. See, this is the Ten of Wands. There's burdens. You're very passionate about all these things that you took on as a responsibility. But see, some of these things don't belong to you, and it could be given back to the people that gave it to you in the first place, because they only gave it to you out of laziness type of thing, and because they didn't want to do it, or they didn't want to take up on their own responsibilities. So there's a time of stepping back and analyzing which one of these things really belong to me. And then the next card reflects, which is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands here reflects that he's deciding what does matter to him and going forth with that. He lets go of all the other 9 ones that clearly don't belong to him, even though he was passionate about it. But just because nobody else can do it doesn't mean you got to take it all on for yourself. It's knowing how to make your own boundaries for yourself, right? And then from that one he takes on, he decides to move away from choppy waters and go to a calmer shore. So you're going forwards with your own wand, with your own desire, because wands is your passion, your desire, what you ultimately look at that is the most prominent in your life, that matters most. And you're letting go of the 9 other ones to take that one and move away with that, to go and make something from that one and offer it to the right peoples. So that's the mini story there for the collective, for some of you that it resonates with. This stuff doesn't resonate with you, doesn't make sense to you, doesn't really sound true to you, have fun throwing it out. That's where your free will comes into being and is allowed to be expressed. Because there's all kinds of readers, and there are some that will tell you how things are. There are some that'll tell you what are the possible future guidance decisions you can make for yourself. So you pick and choose what makes sense to you. Because ultimately, everyone's living their individual experience, and sometimes they need a little bit of guidance or help from other people. Even though you get help and guidance and advice, it's up to you to choose which one you want to take for yourself. It's up to you. Okay. The other card that comes up, the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords can be taken many ways. It can be taken as someone that is in your life and wants to win at all costs. They'll step over whoever, step on people to get to their goal. Or it can be looked at as a person that decides to be in their own free will, in their own power, in their own strength, and everybody else gives up because they see that you're not going to change your mind. So either way, you look at what makes sense to you. This person has some type of victory after putting some effort, is holding all the swords because he is stronger than those other people that tried to contradict or put a blocker or create a resistance towards them. And they gave up the fight because they seen that this person is not going to go down like we wanted them to. And this person's going to just keep doing what they're doing. So it's up to you how you look at it and how it resonates in your life. Let's see what else is there for the collective. There's one that felt after rising up, standing for what you believe in, and showing people, look, this is what it is, this is who I am, and you're not going to pull one over my eyes anymore. You're going to let me be, and you're going to let me go by my own free will. The other people give up, and they just give up all their swords. You end up with all the swords. So then you rise up and you become that star. Because through trials, tribulations, efforts, and obstacles you went through, you rised up to become this star. And this star demanded you to become vulnerable. That's why this person is naked. She is vulnerable. She is standing strong in her vulnerability, and she is pouring water of creation to grow something new in her life and continuing to grow what she had already planted. So when they say a rising star is you're getting there, you're there. And it doesn't mean because they say you're getting there that you're already there. It's a continuous effort to continue to maintain it so that you can keep staying in that spot. And there's a time it'll calm down, but in the meanwhile, for those of you that feel you already had an internal feeling you're getting somewhere, but it's not until you reach that goal of success that you know you've made it. You have all the qualities of a star. It's just keep going. Um, One of my own cards that I made, it says, "You're almost there. Be happy," which means keep being happy, keep doing what you're doing, and then you'll achieve that finish line. Once you achieve that finish line, you can kind of like breathe. You know, although through all this time you needed to know how to breathe, how to be, how to maintain your strength to be able to get to that finish line in the first place. Okay. So there's a lot of you in the collective that are rising, accomplishing accomplishing what you set out for yourselves as a goal, and now you're rising up as a shining star, becoming a source of inspiration. Even though other people will perceive you as someone that is inspiring and they're so happy, you still remain humble. And some of you, you're so battered from keeping up to get to that point that you feel like, oh, I don't know if, I know I made it to the finish line, but I don't know if I feel like I'm a star yet. Like I feel like I need a little bit of rest, just to get back to myself and then be able to accept all this. So there's different circles of people awakening here and there, everywhere in the collective, and each one of them will take your step by step. And in a bigger view, like a bird's eye view of everything that's going on, you're all rising stars and you're all doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, even though it's demanding and it's challenging for you on an individual level. So don't lose hope. This is the card of hope and also accomplishment, and you're making it. So what else is there for the collective? Another one that came out. For some of you, there'll be especially concerning relationships, there'll be some offers coming towards you. This is a night of wands, and there's a lot of you that will be getting, also because it's so close to Valentine's, you'll be getting some offers from people, maybe take you out on a date. So it's passionate offers coming towards you. The knight comes in like riding with his wand. He wants to offer his wand. Like it's very nice. It doesn't matter if you're male, female. It's just someone's gonna come up and make you an offer, and then it's up to you if you want to accept it or not. Let's see if there's a little story with this one. So we'll put that one aside and see what else comes up with that one to kind of complete that message. So what else is there concerning the Knight of Wands universe? A couple of them that flew. One that came up face up was the choice card. The Chariot usually represents a choice. So it's whatever is divinely guided for you. If you feel that this is a sign, this is what I'd like to have, this is what I've asked for, go for the experience and see how that is for you. Okay? And then the other card that came up that flipped, but it was backwards, is saying, see what is of value for you. Is this a king or a queen? This is a queen. But is this someone that will emotionally fulfill you as an offer? Is this someone that will emotionally fulfill you and help you in your growth? Because she's holding a pentacle. So the pentacle speaks of, um, let's see if we could get the angle here a little better. So there's not so much reflection. So for some of you, there's a choice, and the choice is, do I go for the experience or not? And or is it what I've asked for? And for some of you, is this offer actually embodies sustainability? Does it embody like something that could be stable if we both nurture at it, at the relationship itself? Is it something that offers something of value? She's holding the coin. So it depends on your situation individually, and it's whatever resonates for you in the collective. So you see what matters to you. Basically, it always comes down to that. It's like, what matters to you most? Is it that emotional fulfillment? Is it the social status that they have? Is it um, the love that they're offering? Does it sound, feel, sense genuine to you? So you get to decide. But with the Chariot card in the middle between this story here, the Chariot card speaks about like being divinely guided. Because there's the Sphinx here. Usually it's depicted by two horses, but in this one, it has a Sphinx on one side, a Sphinx on the other. One's black, one's white. So it's like saying going left or right. And there's no reins on it. So the chariot, that would be who you are. You're sitting there. And it's wherever the divine brings you towards. And it's always like he's got the stars above him and the moon's on his shoulder. So it's by what he feels. So by what he feels and what he is asking and his general energy, that's where the divine will bring you towards. So is it towards a passionate offer that just comes in and tells you what you want to hear, maybe? Or is it something that's more stable, grounded, and that offers you something that is of value instead of just pure desire? So it's up to you what you're looking for. That's why that Chariot card comes in, is to ask, is for you to ask yourself, out of all these offers I've received right now, does it resonate? Does it align with what I've been really wanting inside of me? Okay? So these are some of the aspects going on in the collective at the moment. Let's see what else there is for the collective at the moment. So any of you listening, if you like this channel, like, share, subscribe. Once you subscribe and I reach 50 subscribers, then I'll be able to do some channeling on a live and be able to channel and be able to read some of the people's questions and be able to answer right away, like if I can, if that's what I'm called to do. So right now I'm seeing if we can grow the channel and if you can help me with building my dream, being able to relay a message for everybody. Okay, so let's see what the next story holds. So there are a few cards that fell. So let's see what came out first. Okay. Okay, for a few people in the collective at the moment. First, we have, there was an offer that came in. Okay, and this offer, what it did is, because this is the Knight of Cups, he's coming in with an offer of love, partnership, friendship. But this offer, even though it seemed like it was well intentioned, what it caused was that either it was someone you knew and you already got heartbroken because this person is by the river of tears looking at 3 cups that fell. And this is a person that's already grieving something. So either this offer that came in created like a trigger moment, and then it made you go into like the past memories. So you're not able to accept it at the moment. Even though it came in kind of like a blessing in disguise, but it was just for you to be able to get all this all this crap out, basically. But if there is a grieving moment that you haven't dealt with and just pushed under the rug, it's the time to do it. Because 5 of Cups speaks of there's 3 in front of you, but there's 2 still standing. Once you're done with your grieving moment, you'll turn around and see that there's 2 cups behind you. You pick them up, and then you see here, there is a bridge here that goes all the way to that castle where you like to be. So it's like a metaphor, an analogy. It's a way of explaining in a visual sense of how you feel on the inside. Is that once you're done with crying for what happened, cried over spilled milk, cried over these experiences you thought would come to something. Once you're done with grieving that, you'll turn yourself around because he's still illuminated, right? He's looking at all this, but he's still illuminated. So there's still wisdom in you. And then when you turn around, you'll see that there's 2 cups still standing. It's like, oh, I have something. I have something to offer. I didn't even know. I just kept looking at what I lost, and I kind of put behind me what I already gained. And these are the things I can offer to people. So when he turns around and he looks at what he can offer to people, he'll pick them up, go over that bridge over there, and make his way to the castle and be able to offer it, offer of love. The thing is that through these grieving moments, a lot of people are going through these sleepless nights. This is the card of anxiety. Is you're all up when everything is calm and you're supposed to be soothing yourself and falling asleep, getting a good rest. That's when your thoughts come up, because the swords is the realm of thoughts. So it's keeping you up at night for all these things. The should have, the could have, the would have, the if it was only this, if it was only that, and it's traveling between the past and the possible future which you're creating for yourself, but it's basically based on the past, and you're not seeing the present moment, which the present moment right now should be that you need to get some sleep and some rest. But that's not how it works when the mind is like, this shit hasn't been processed, so I want you to look at it now since you're calm enough to be able to deal with it. So it's only like at night or whenever it is that we go to bed that the brain is like, oh, this is the ideal moment to be able to bring all this shit up. The brain don't know any different. It's not the brain's fault. We could tell it, we could say it, but really to have an optimum relationship with our brain would be to actually set a time for ourselves, either a time for meditation, a time for sitting there and not doing anything and just allow our thoughts to go by, and we watch them go by as they go by, and then we see what it is that keeps going by over and over, and then we see how our thoughts work. And then from then on, we can actually, okay, this, I'll deal with that. You pick and choose what it is out of those thoughts that go by. If you don't deal with them, they're all going to come up in the time when you're supposed to be resting and at peace and calm. So that's when they kind of bubble up to the surface. You don't have to go through it like it's like reliving it. You can like say, okay, today I'm dealing with that. The rest will go for another time. Will go for the next day. You set an actual schedule. Your brain will abide by that because your conscious mind is God, is, the ultimate ruler of the rest of your whole body. But you have to make some time for it and not too long because it'll let you know, like, this stuff is building up under pressure and we need you to look at it now. And there's energies, planetary alignments, there's the moon alignments, everything, like the moon phases. It brings in an intensity that forces each person to actually have to look at these things. So some people are aware of these things and they actually follow it, and then they kind of have a time of release, a time of enjoyment, a time of receiving, a time of asking. And these are the people that you'll usually come to ask for advice. How do I set my life in a certain way that will be like satisfying and that I won't feel overwhelmed or anxiety or fall back into depression? So this is what they say about doing your own work. It's about finding out these things for yourself. You can find out from others different methods that have worked. You can try some, but it's all about your own belief. And anyone knows whatever you do for yourself sticks because you know you've done it for yourself. You worked at it. You know. And also, whatever you've done for yourself and didn't work, you'll be the first one to tell everybody, you know what, that don't work. That don't work. Like that's the way we're made. Initially, at the core, authentically, we really want to help other people. But if we've been really hurt, we want everybody to feel the pain we feel. So either way, there's a way to recognizing that. And whatever you want to align with, that is your choice. Then we have Hangman. So after those nights of anxiety and stuff, there comes a point where you're like, I need to get away from it all. I need to take a step back. I need to just chill. I need to take a medical break. I need to, whatever it is, right? And that happens to a lot of people. So they step back. The hangman is you're suspended upside down, basically. It's because you're looking at things differently. So it's a step back. Some people, it's because they twisted their ankle and they can't go anywhere and they can't walk. Or someone is severely got sick somehow and they need to like take a step away from their everyday work that they usually go to. So the universe has a fail-safe too that if you're not taking care of what you need to take care of, everything will just stop and then it'll make you be in the hangman position type of thing. Then it'll make you look at things in a different way. And from that perspective, you see his head is illuminated. From that perspective, you're going to gain knowledge of what it is you actually need to do for yourself. Okay? So if you don't take heed or listen to advice that actually makes your heart kind of, yeah, that sounds true. Okay, if you're not listening to those things, not listening to your own intuition, then there'll be a time to be in the hangman position, which will force you to actually look at these things and actually deal with them. Okay. And there's time where sensing things. This is like, I'm not allowing, because she's blindfolded, right? I'm not allowing what I see to disturb what I initially feel. So it's about, not allowing anyone to cross your boundaries, not focusing on what you see to be the truth. Instead, you're going for what you feel in any interaction you're going through. Yes, you're looking with your physical eyes. Yes, you're interacting. But the main thing that remains, the main thing you're capturing out of the whole experience is what you're actually sensing. Because that gives you more of a sense of the truth of what's going on. Okay. And once you're ready, you can take those blinders off and actually look at events, see for what it is, but at the same time sense for what the truth is. So then you'll start seeing if people are projecting an image, but on the inside it's their own insecurity. Like someone appearing full of confidence, and there's something behind there. And even though they're full of confidence or they appear that way, it's just a mask. So then you'll sense further in, and then you'll see, oh, they're insecure, so they're just trying to compensate to try to appear a certain way to be able to be accepted by others. So then you can choose what you do with that person. You can call them out on their shit. Maybe they're not ready to hear it. But if you're calling them out on their shit, make sure you also make them feel that they can come to you for, that you're a person that's understanding, that they can be themselves with you. Because the ultimate thing is for everyone to become authentic, to become themselves for real. It's also a time to say, okay, this is my boundary, and I don't want anyone to cross that. And I will sense it. I won't see it, but I'll sense it if you're crossing my boundary. Okay, that's also what this card represents. And then for a lot of people in the collective, they're feeling stuck by their circumstances, stuck by their own beliefs, limiting beliefs. And it's normal because this is a period where we're starting to see the light on things. For a lot like in this card, it depicts that this person can easily wiggle themselves out of this bondage around her. The cords aren't very tight. And once she wiggles herself out of it, she could remove the blinders. When she removes the blinders, she'll see that there's only half a circle of swords around her. So she'll see the truth that she's not really stuck. She starts kind of sensing, feeling, knowing, and believing that she's not really stuck. It's the how she's going to get out of that stuckness is to see the truth around her. So there's a way to get out of feeling stuck. But first and foremost, it requires you to have faith and to actually start moving things to see if things can be moved, but not against other people's will. It's, you still, no matter what, you still practice that spiritual integrity. You don't go against other people's will. You do stand your ground, and you you always approach things like in a way of asking yourself, like, what would love do? What is the most compassionate action I can do here? You can project that compassionate action on the outside of you. It'll create differences. It'll create a change. But first and foremost, is finding it within yourself. And your own belief in yourself is what's going to get you unstuck in the first place. To be able to make all those other decisions. To be able to see the truth of what is really around you. And how you can get yourself unstuck out of all of this. So, what else is there? Is there anything else? No. Okay. So we're gonna get a Starseed card. Words of encouragement for a lot of people out there, because it's not easy times, and a lot of people are standing for what they believe in. And there's two that came out. They're standing for what they believe in, and uh, it's like time stood still, and they're waiting on answers. And while you're waiting, don't get anxious. Stay in your happy self. Um, Answers will come. Just know that they are on their way. The first card that came out is card Love. So it says, live your truth and share the love that is in your soul. So while you're waiting for answers or whatever it is that you're waiting for, live your truth. And the other one says, ooh, advancement. So there is an energy that is being pushed forward, and it comes in exactly when it's supposed to have the best results, the result that you asked for in the first place. Not the result that you asked for in your egoic mind. That one's no longer in operation. It is the what you asked for in your hearts. Okay. Advancement. A strong energy is propelling you forward. Follow the stirrings of your heart. How awesome is that? Next, for the collective read, we're going to get a Divine Abundance card and see what message we got for everybody. I was going to say what little message, and then I end up dropping all the cards. Whoa! Just 1 second here. Let's see what we got. Well, we're going to take all of them because it relates to a lot more people, and individually, all these people, maybe if it resonates and makes sense to you. Okay. And it could be that I'm tired and I just dropped a whole bunch of cards, but the way it felt was like, these are cards that need to come out. So it's like, okay. First and foremost, we have the card Surrender. But not surrender as giving up what you believe in. Not that kind. It's a surrender from within to allow the divine energies to help you in your cause. Okay? So it says, sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest, to stop trying to control the whole universe. Just allow things to come as they come. That's what it is. I hear the voices of the grandmothers, and they'll say to me, patience, focus, keep focusing on what you love. Have patience that things are coming and that things will just line up the way they should to be able to have the best outcome ever out of all of uh, and it'll match up to what you've been asking, but it'll be even more than what you thought it was. Next card, Divine Source. That's what you have that's supporting you. It says, help me know that all my deepest needs will be met. Let me trust that you have a plan and the right actions will come. You are my source for all. So that's the card of Divine Source. Next one is Gratitude. How awesome is that? You know, practicing the art of gratitude is also a way of keeping yourself in the present moment, because then you're not anxious about the future and you're not depressed. about the past. It's a way of keeping you in the present moment. The longer you're in the present moment, the more power you actually gain for developing your own reality around you. It says, fill me with gratitude for all you give. May I be a vehicle for you wherever I go. So allow your higher self to be channeled through you. We want to evolve to become more than we've ever been. Energy clearing is the next one. And it says, during crises, the Holy One herself may be emptying you of fear and attachments, preparing you to receive her luminous plan. So be attentive while you're clearing, while energy is being cleared for you. Be attentive to your intuition. Your intuition is your higher self, the divine, speaking to you. Your gut feeling is your warning system on what to be aware of. The next one is true offering. True offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. So let go of what is that you yourself as a human, it'd be too much of a burden to take on. So give that burden to the Creator so that the help you need can be provided. So that, because you're asking the universe to help you, it's kind of like you're delegating what you know needs to be done around you to the Creator, and then the right people will be sent to you, divinely guided. And you'll know because these people will say it in a way that only you know it's true. So even though anyone could be watching this video and could try to mimic what it would be to say it to a person because they heard this, you'll know if it's fake or if it's true, because divinely guided things come in a way that only you can recognize is the actual truth. But first and foremost, you gotta know what it is you want. You gotta know who you are. It's a lot of work that goes in that, but everyone is very much capable of doing this, regardless of how you look physically, regardless of what uh, what you're lacking or not able to do like everybody else. It doesn't matter. Whatever is meant for you will not pass you by. So the help that you need will not pass you by. Sometimes a lot of people that don't get any help is because they've done everything themselves usually, and they have a hard time asking for help. So just the fact of becoming humble and asking, they may get a no, a no, a no, until they start figuring out, okay, it's not so much the method you're using to ask, because you're just asking. It's recognizing who it is that you could, and listening to your intuition. Listening to your intuition will guide you to the right people. This is about that trust building exercise that's going on between each individual person and what name they gave to their own divine universal intelligent source that is helping them through this reality. Next one we have is inner child. Oh, inner child activation comes in with some shadow work, because a lot of people has gone through in their inner child got hurt by childhood traumas. So the activation of the inner child is from the standpoint before it was hurt. Okay, and it starts to grow from there. The shadow is what you continuously keep letting go on a day-to-day basis to be able to heal the passageway so that this inner child could grow even more. So then you become complete because you got all your aspects of yourself growing within you. There are people, and I am one of them too, and you can request like to have some help or have some coaching or a little bit of a information session. You can request it through the, like on my site it's Cosmic Turtles. You can request by email and how much time you want to dedicate, and we can help with tips and tricks and everything, and we can offer the services to be able to help you in your own growth. Okay. So for inner child, it says, allow me to give compassion and love to that little one. Let me attend to its deepest needs and feelings. The next one, divine abundance, which is always available to you. It's just a question on the how do I reach, how do I receive, how do I get this? How do I get this manifested in my life or in a continuous flow, right? So divine abundance is there, and it says you were born to align with love's will. Follow the Tao and serve something beyond the ego. The ego. Ego. Let go of my ego. Okay, so something beyond the ego. Learn to be abundance, not chase it. The next one is loss. A lot of views in the collective, and I've experienced that for myself as well. We have gone through the experience of having major losses on one way or another, be it people, jobs, situations, living conditions, whatever it was, assets, whatever it is. A lot of us in the collective in the last year or two, we have, especially in the last year, we have been through so much what the human mind inside of us would consider, geez, I lost this. And it is a reality. It is something that's like, oh, it took us like, we didn't know what to think. And then upon reflecting on it afterwards, oof, that hurts and that hits hard and all that. And there's a time of grievance. And you're not alone. There's a lot of us going through this. And just like trying to understand the whole thing. Why? Like, why did this go? Why did that go? And trying to figure out like the answers on those things. So this one, like, it hits hard for me, like, too. Yeah, I get it. But even though I have my own pains that I'm not just carrying, but I'm transmuting them, changing into a different energy to bring it as something that could be of value instead of just carrying a loss for the rest of my life. No, thank you. I don't want to carry that baggage. I want to change it into something that is of value. It's kind of like all the days of old that are compressed in the earth as old vegetation or end up in the mines. All of those things, old civilizations that don't exist anymore, got compressed in the earth in a way that it turned into rock. And these rocks got so compressed it turned into a semi-precious stone that the rest of us dig for and look at and we're like, oh, that's so beautiful. All these rocks contain these stories, these experiences. You never know. Maybe the rock or crystal that you receive is actually a part of your own ancestry. It's something to think about because there's always a recycling of anything that's physical. There's always a recycling, a death and renewal, a death and renewal. So understanding what loss is really about instead of just how it feels, but the understanding of what it's really fully about. When you're ready for that, after the grieving process, you go and find people that understand this and can explain it to you. When you're ready, because it's not until you're ready that you'll be willing to listen. And you're totally allowed to spend a lot of time if you need to do the grieving process from losses that you have been through. It says sometimes you learn true offering through loss. You make a passionate invitation for love to take over and bring her own plan instead of the ego's. And the last one that came out was signs. Everything connects. Everything is relative. Everything, like, everything makes sense when you're able to see. Everything does connect. It's not so random as it appears or it seems at first glance when you don't understand. Of course, it's going to be looked as that way in the beginning. It doesn't mean that's what it is. There's a deeper sense to things. But through signs, even for your own, there are signs that are made specifically for each person that when they perceive it, it catches their attention and they're like, no, it can't be. It can't be. No. But it is. But it's up to you to take the value of that message or not to take it. It's just, if you do, it brings you on an amazing adventure of self-discovery and way more understanding than you could have ever imagined or ever gotten from doing your own research. So it's up to you, and those signs will forever be present for you to be able to notice. Okay. So for the signs card, it says instincts are the message from the inner divine. Causes you to think, doesn't it? But you'll know what is true for you. I know a lot of us, we were told not, like, we were put down so much that we were told not to even trust ourselves. And the truth is if we would have trusted ourselves more, we would have been way more ahead of time than falling into self-doubt. But it was a process, and we had to go through all this unknowingness and insecurities and not sureness. And then after that, when we hit a friggin' point, we're like, you know what? No more. I know I was made with all this stuff inside of me. So, and then you go back up, and then you're like, oh, there we go. There, I feel it myself. Jeez, all this time, but it's not a waste of time. You can't go back and regret either. So, believe in yourself. Every one of you mattered. Even if you were deemed to be the person that is going to go and be the narcissist in someone else's life at one point, like everyone has their level of toxicity. It's if you're willing to actually remedy these things, that's when you know you're doing progress. And that's when you're participating in the evolution of the whole collective. If you're going against that, that's up to you too, because it is a choice. However, just know that you may not get what you expected. You may not get what you were promised by whatever it is that was guiding you at the time. So there's a fine line between spiritual message, the inner dialogue that is from ego, or the inner dialogue that is from your intuition. So it's up to you to figure out which way you want to go. Yes, although one way may have proven to be successful and more powerful than the other side, there's always a chance and there's always a choice. It's just, it seems like there's a, a seems to be like uh, it's like it's the last moments for people to make their choices on what they want to do. And that window of opportunity on choice and which way you want to go. So a lot of people were also just sitting on the fence looking at the sides and like, okay, well, I'm going for the winning side. Oh, this one seems to be winning. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, I'm back on the fence now because it's uncomfortable. Oh, this side seems to be winning. I'll go on this sense. And then they come back on the fence and like, that was uncomfortable. And they'll only go so far into experiences, but they've been traveling on the fence. That's okay. They're probably the people that can show you where the middle is, but they, they won't be able to guide you if you have to go through different experiences. Although everyone has their purpose, but to a certain extent, you decide for yourself how much you're willing to take on for yourself. You choose. So either way, everyone has a purpose. Either way, we're all within the divine universe's creation, plan, idea. We're all within this bubble of reality. So you choose, and the collective will unanimously decide what it wants for its future. Right now, we're awakening that we even have a collective, that that we're all one. We're just waking up to that right now. So you choose how you want this for the next lifetimes, for our next generations. Like, if you were to come back, how would you like this life to be? That's one way of putting it. Even if you have no children, doesn't matter, you'll still come back. So this is my belief, but it holds a lot of truth, and it comes from the intuition and from words that was given. Words. Words are limiting. We'll never really be able to explain the grandeur of it all until we get to a certain point, maybe. Until then, we're still children, teenagers right now, trying to figure out what we want to do with our lives. So, this is Tina from Cosmic Turtles. This has been the collective read for everybody at this moment. I'll see you next time.